Viking Technology has this really nifty capacitor PCI Express card that is designed to power these special DIMMs. This is 8 gigs of DDR4, but it's got an NV RAM that's on the backside, so when the power is lost to the system, the memory, the actual DRAM that's sitting here, gets backed up onto an NV RAM, which is non-volatile flash, that can then be restored when the system comes back. So when you come back to life, the idea would be that the system kind of restores right to where it was before the power was lost. But it kind of makes the decision and goes, I don't know what happened. It's like getting smacked in the side of the head with a brick and suddenly you recover.
You've got 8 gigabytes. You've got 8 gigabytes of normal DDR4 and then 8 gigabytes of flash. So what's happening is you lose the power, you lose what's in RAM immediately, but what was in RAM, well, you don't really lose what was in RAM immediately because this thing keeps it powered. This thing can't keep it powered for forever. So what it does is it uses that time to copy whatever's in RAM to flash, and then it can be off indefinitely. And then when it comes back on, special software, whatever you happen to have, says, oh, here's a copy of RAM at the time of crash. Maybe we can restore everything to exactly the moment of crash and not actually crash.
So it'd be like hardware-based hibernate. That would be kind of nifty. We should do that. We should test it out.
Hardware-based hibernate in the event of a power outage.
And while we're here, we've got another really nifty piece of awesome non-memory technology that's kind of cool. Let's come over here. All this stuff is really neat. That's a 32 gig DIMM slot, but this is what I want to show you. This is a SATA connector connected to this DIMM module. The DIMM module is not actually memory. It is an SSD on the DIMM module. So the idea is you've got a giant server with 16 you got 16 DIMM slots. You're only using 4 of them. Maybe you're using 8. You can fill up the rest with this. It uses the power from the DIMM slot to power the SSD, and then you just plug it directly into your SATA connector. End of story. It's awesome. Okay, check this out. These are some Commell mini PCI and some older PCI slot kind of embedded solutions. Some of the ones that I find more interesting are here. This is a 4-channel audio video input. It's got a Windows and Linux driver, Windows driver and SDA provided, which is cool, which means you can build something for this. This one right here is really nifty. It supports 2 gigalans. It's got an Intel chipset. It's mini PCI Express, so you can actually put this into like an Alix box and run a pfSense router with a couple of extra gig ports. Moving on, we've got wireless LAN. This is an NBG, so it's not exactly the newest stuff, but it's older and it runs Windows Vista, XP, Linux stuff. It's going pretty cool. These are serial controllers, so if you wanted to like turn it into some kind of home automation kind of thing, control devices, control your doorbell, that kind of stuff, it's all capable of being done with that stuff. Some of these things are supports a DVI port, graphics DVI. It's not very powerful, but it's enough for maybe running an LCD or some kind of simple solution. This is a 60 frame per second, 2 to 8 channel input capture card with Linux and Windows driver and SDK provided. SD card supports, you don't have enough storage, you just want a simple SD card for whatever. This right here supports 2 SATA ports, SATA 3, mini teeny tiny ones. They convert it out to actually plug into a hard drive. This one down here supports 2 USB 3s. It's a lot of cool stuff. Oh, check this out. We got a little This is an embedded system. Wendell, tell me, what did you just give me?
So this is an example. Like this whole thing's about miniaturization, right? So you get your 2 mini PCI Express expansion slots here, so you can mix and match whatever componentry you want and still get it in a package this small. Now this is the Intel Atom system on chip. You've got the 2 gigabit Ethernet interfaces, of course, but you also have the I don't think that's 2.5 inch. That's the 1.8 inch SATA. Then you've got the 1 DDR3 socket. But if you wanted to do video capture in a platform this large, or you wanted to add 2 more Intel gigabit Ethernet NICs or some combination, you can do it. It even has a spot for a SIM, so you can do a cellular radio and PCI Express configuration.
And it runs on almost no power. Look at that.
Yeah, the direct DC input, and then I think that's an LVDS interface, but I wouldn't swear it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm standing here in front of the Ducky Shine 5. It's a new keyboard that's got the RGBs, because yeah, RGB is fun. This here actually got me off guard. I'd never touched one of these keys before, but these are, of course I just stuck it back on there and I can't get it off. Come here. There we go. These are blacks. These are black switches, which are a little heavier than reds, and I was confused at first because I would hit them and I'm like, this doesn't feel like a brown, but it doesn't feel quite like a red either. These ones here are going to be released in the blacks, the reds, and the browns initially, and they said that blues will be a little later on. They're having stuff happening. This is kind of nifty. They got different space bars for cities, which is pretty cool. But these are the browns. They do have the awesome dip switches in the back for changing your key configurations, which is always a good thing. And the fact that they come in these 3 different types and varieties is pretty awesome. All right, so these ones here, while they're just like every other RGB, they're not just like every other RGB. These ones here have about 20% brighter LEDs because they've got a dual PCB functionality where it's got one PCB for the keys and then the other PCB for the actual switches themselves. So the LEDs are a little bit bigger, makes them brighter, so prettier, and it's gonna blind you in the middle of the night when you're trying to sleep. If you got this in your bedroom, it'll be very bright and awesome. Also means you'll never miss a key if you're looking at them. So these are limited edition Ducky keyboards. They're made out of aluminum. This whole top piece is aluminum. It's one of those things you really want in your room when somebody breaks in, you need to smash them in the face. It comes in, again, the blacks, the reds, and the browns. Blues are going to be a little, well, they may or may not have blues before these are no longer available because they're limited. But they come in 3 colors. They come in the silver, brushed aluminum. They've come in the blue, and then they've got like I think it was supposed to be like a red, but it comes up as like a fuchsia, pink, rose colored. Probably goes really well with the colored LEDs.
Look, Series 1.
Series 1.
Look at all these colors.
Lots of colors on this one here. This one here is actually transparent black. And they got the LEDs. These ones here, we've got solid LEDs. These all
Series 1 in like every color, man.
These also.
That means it's time to go.
And that sound means it's time for us to get out of here. It's gonna be great. It's been a fun time here at Ducky Keyboards.